Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales. Long ago, the four nations existed together in peace. Then, everything changed when the Welsh launched a podcast. Only the Endgame Master, capable of managing all four nations into one show, is able to bring fun to an informative podcast. But when the world needed him most, he stormed off. 100 episodes passed, David discovered the new Endgame Master, an angry Welshman called Craig, and although his endgames are challenging, he has a lot to learn about managing his temper. But I believe Craig will save the endgame. Endgame time! Endgame time! Endgame time!
We're in the endgame now.
Oh, come on.
You are kidding me.
This is horrific.
It's gonna save Space Jam, no!
Oh my god!
God damn it.
It's so annoying!
Well, good movies.
Hello everyone and welcome to Well Good Movies, but yet again, this isn't Well Good Movies. This is the Endgame special, this time, the Centenary. That's right, to celebrate 100 episodes of the show, we are yet again bringing you an Endgame special. 6 different guests from across all various eras of the show, all here to battle it out, to see who our next champion is going to be. Who is it? I don't know, but I'm genuinely intrigued to see. So, let's introduce the teams. First up, we have the usual duo dealing with all manner of different buddy cop movies and fighting against a lot of anti-Semitism via the use of 21 Jump Street. The usual duo of Potter and Klein. It's Aaron Potter and Paul Klein. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having the best body cop duo that as well. If that goes well.
It's good to see that the daylight savings is affecting all of us at this point.
I've not had nearly enough coffee, so I'm hoping, Paul, you're going to be, bringing the heat on this one. Hopefully.
You are the young maverick, and I'm too old for this shit. So let's do this. Don't call it a comeback.
Potter and Klein, always okay.
Well, this is going to be interesting because despite the fact that we obviously know you as like the buddy cop duo, this is actually going to be your first time working together on a show because usually the end games you've been up against each other. Do you think you have any idea of how your dynamic is going to be on this show?
Well, I think Paul's got 21 and 22 Jump Street covered. I'll cover everything else known to man, hopefully. So it's equal weighting. But no, because I think we left it as 1-1 to me and Paul. So hopefully we can like combine our even knowledge and raise the tide, as it were. So
fantastic.
We worked against each other, but now we're together. We are basically Godzilla x Kong. Yeah. The new we're Potter x Klein, the new Empire.
Potter x Klein, and I'll just sign off and say whoever wins, we lose.
Whee! There he is.
Well, I look forward to seeing how you guys perform. So, to move on to our next duo. So while not a traditional duo, they definitely have left their mark on this podcast by bringing all different forms of chaos, whether that just be introducing mad films that we are not expected for insofar as just tone or thirstiness for Ed Harris, or whether that's just literally bringing in seasonal inappropriate films in the form of The Night Before Christmas in April. Here we have Liv Mackinder and Mary Munoz. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you both?
I feel like Liv has definitely got the short straw here because anyone who has listened to the Well Good Movies podcast that I've been on knows that I am notoriously shit at quizzes.
I made Ed Champion of Champions lose last time.
This is indeed true. Yeah, so obviously in our 100th episode, which was the Lord of the Rings game, Liv did actually win a bracket, and I think everyone was surprised, but particularly Liv seemed to be shocked at her own success.
I tend to win things by fluke, but I think fluke is on our side today because I woke up 5 minutes before we got on this call. So, like, fluke is within me.
Also, Mary, I feel like I owe you an apology because obviously after our last episode together, I'm not sure if you listened to our History of Violence episode, but we tried to interpret how you might think about one of the scenes in the film, and I inadvertently tried to do an impression of you, which didn't go down great.
No, I have not heard this yet, but I mean, obviously these dulcet tones are almost impossible to replicate.
That's why I keep asking Mary if you listened to it yet. Mary, if you listened to it yet.
Yeah, so I mean, you
me
don't
up.
have to listen for long. He chose it as the intro.
Yeah.
He literally chose it as the opening.
I mean, I'm flattered, right? I mean, you guys, I didn't even win that quiz. I still got to pick the film. I had two really hot guys in the film that you got to watch. So I mean, that's a win-win situation for me. You can make fun of me all you want.
Well, it's good to see the perspective that you'll be bringing into today's Endgame special. So you talked about two hot guys in this film. Let's see if the next two guys fit that criteria. So, having joined us from our Full Monty episode before, we have the guys from the 250 podcast. Let's welcome to the show Darren Mooney and Andrew Quinn. Welcome, guys. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. I feel like a guy. I feel like Guy Goma, that lad who arrives kind of on BBC News by mistake.
It's my favorite interview ever.
Doesn't quite know what's happening. But I
Yes.
think I think Guy Goma had probably been awake for longer than I had. like Viv. Or sorry, Liv. It's Liv, isn't it? Darren is seeding with raids because I was late.
Is mute? Yeah, you're on mute, Darren.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
perfect.
There we
Sorry,
go.
there we go. But yeah, no, just want to shout out Liv for waking up 5 minutes before the call happened. As somebody who woke up 5 minutes after the call happened, really appreciate that professionalism.
I'm loving the competitiveness already.
Yeah.
Going on. People are tracking
But
people's times, and
I-
you know.
I
I'm
think
scared of this game.
I think like it's going to be very humiliating for people who prepared if we win. So
I mean, if anyone could prepare
Is
for
this the only,
Craig's
I'm sorry,
Endgame.
is this the only Endgame special where every team is just like, you know what? We just concede defeat. Just every team has done something to undermine themselves.
we're getting our excuses in early.
Manage expectations. That's
Yeah.
the key.
The only disgrace is having tried and failed.
Mary, I think we might have a chance.
I know I'm feeling like oddly optimistic right now, which never happens for me before quizzes, but this is giving me a good vibe.
All right. So that's all the introductions apart from one. So when discussing the introduction for today, we had a number of different assistant roles we could have gone with. You could have gone with little Alex Horn. We could have gone with Alexander Armstrong. But David actively chose that he wants to be referred to this. So this isn't me making a joke. This is his decision. I'd like to welcome today's very own Carol Vorderman, David Oscar. Welcome.
I've got my board, guys. This is why I've got my pen and my board.
Nice
I'll have a
board.
consonant, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Very professional. It's prop comedy
Yeah.
in a podcast. I like
Yeah.
it.
Ironically, anyway, I'm excited because everyone has won in some respect. I think even though Darren and Andrew have only taken part in one Endgame, they did sort of draw. It was like a tiebreaker. So everyone has got victory behind them. So I think feel good about that, guys. So yeah, and it's fun to have the four nations combined, even though obviously on our side, if we're talking rugby, we haven't had a great time recently. But it's very
I was going to
very
say,
fun.
me and Paul were going to be the Fire Nation in that analogy.
I mean, there is a reason why I put England where I did in that. Ireland are the more sort of
Yeah.
like calming presence, so they got water. Scotland, the earthiness, of course. England, the imperialism, and then Wales, the Celtic spirituality.
Yeah. But we do have a dragon, so we could easily say fire, but we'll
We ignore that. So, all right, Dave and I will have a little chat in a bit, but first, I think it's good if we all understand how this episode is going to play out, because apart from Liv, who is our only veteran returning member of an Endgame special, because we now have this tradition where we like to bring back one person from a previous Endgame special just to show the others how it's done, or to flail and panic, which I assume is more what Liv is looking to do at this point. We're going to explain exactly how this game works. So, you will all play in 5 individual endgames, but you'll be playing in your individual teams, right? So, you, depending on the rules, determines whether or not we allow you to confer with your partner, or if it's a case of like, we're expecting you to vibe with each other and just understand your partner a little bit. What will happen is, depending on the results of those games, will determine how many team points your team gets going forward. So if you win the individual game, you get 3 points, second gets 2, third gets 1. So no matter how you do, you will get at least 1 team point for your team. So The other thing to note is that the points that you get in that game are not added to the end game point total, right? So say you score 17 in one game. Congratulations, that's a really good score. You still only get 3 points for that game. So to start off, we're going to do a little bit of bonus points because while we all know you as some existing combination already, this is your chance to truly define yourselves by choosing your own team name. We're now going to open the Zoom breakout rooms where we want you to go in there for about 2 minutes and talk with your partner to determine what your team name for today is going to be. And that's how we're going to refer to you throughout the entirety of this episode. So you can make it related to the name that we know you by, or you can be creative and original. It's completely up to you. Off you go. So this will take about 60 seconds for them to absolutely clear out. And now we'll see if anyone is panicking and just doesn't have a name. So let's do a little bit of speculating. David, who do you think is going to have the most interesting team name of the bunch?
I think possibly Potter and Klein, considering their passion for things like Jackie Chan Adventures, might have a few fun things up their sleeve. Maybe I've already spoiled the name. I don't know, but yeah, I can imagine some chaos coming from them.
That's what we like to be known for. Just getting answers right, overrated, unbridled chaos.
Right, so now we need to get the team names from you. So what's going to happen is I'm going to award bonus points to the names that basically are my favorites. So I will be generous. Every team will get some bonus points from this. It's just a case of how many you get. So we'll start off with Potter and Klein. So what did you guys... Okay, Aaron's already keeling over, so this is obviously going to be good. All right. And now we've lost Paul. Oh, God. What have they done?
I'm here. I'm alive.
All right. So what is your team name?
So I feel like we've been incredibly predictable in this regard because we've actually got 3 options. I thought we were going to let the team decide, but I don't know how this will affect the bonus points.
Okay.
So what we came up with were... because there's a certain other movie currently out in cinemas where 2 titans are matching up. We've gone from Potter and Klein to Potter cross Klein.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we've got various subtitle options. We've either got Potter cross Klein, The New Jackie Chan Adventures, got Potter cross Klein Requiem, or Potter cross Klein, or I should say X rather than cross, I guess. Yeah. Potter X Klein Back in the Habit. I'm thinking the third one's my favorite, Paul.
Presumably, we choose which of those 3
We've cheated right out the gate.
Yeah,
we
I think
that.
I'll help you out with this one just so that Craig isn't too.
We have broken the format of your quiz.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna. Paul, did you have something that you lent to more?
No, all of them I think are worthy of 3 points.
I'll go to Back in the Habit because again, there's a bit of a they all have a sort of crime theme to it, but Sister Act has that kind of like fun, running away from the cops stuff sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, and what's also nice is that if anyone wants to write fan fiction about you guys, you've given them the perfect title. All right, fantastic. Moving on to our next team.
Not my Claude.
Let's go to Mary and Liv. So, what do you guys want to be known as for this episode?
So this is a little throwback to my first appearance on the pod. However, since there are 2 of us, the repetition of this team name makes sense. So we are Team Lovely.
Oh, God.
And it makes sense that Liv always wants to punish Craig, so...
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense when I'm arbitrarily giving out these team points. Yeah, it's a good idea
Here's the thing. You can't punish us for picking a team name to punish you because, as you can see in the chat, I dibsed 3 points.
Yeah, you do realize I'm ignoring you. Okay, so we have Lovely, which sounds like the frenzy version of Happy by... All right. And finally, we have Darren and Andrew. So what do you guys want to be known as for this?
As it's Easter week and we're the Irish team, it's the Dark Knight Rising, I think. Is that it, or is it the Dark Knights Rising?
I'm appreciating the moment. I do like the Dark Knights Rising, yes.
Okay, so just to check, so it's the Dork Knight as in like...
We wanted something like IMDb adjacent and, Warner's own copyright.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Right, so in that case, it's time for me to give out the bonus points. So this is going to be an interesting one. This is what's going to happen. I think that there are two which I equally like, but then there is one that stands above. So what will happen is the one that stands above will get 3 bonus points. The other 2 teams will get 2 bonus points. Okay? So there's no major disparity. So bonus point wise, 2 points are going to Lovely and The Dark Knight Rising, which means 3 bonus points to Potter X Klein Back in the Habit. So congratulations.
An early lead and our only lead.
Woo!
I knew that you would carry on the theme of we've always got one team that has a very long team name, and it would be the ones which have the buddy cop already in there.
Yeah, the Rush Hour trilogy, those famously long movie titles, just goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have some points on the board, let's get into the first game. Are we ready?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
We are
Yeah.
ready.
All right, perfect. So
I was born 3 weeks late.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That really took me off guard. Okay. Round 1. A classic game of we finish each other's. A classic game, but with a classic twist. What we have is we have several different clips from different movies. And the idea is, depending on the context of what happens, we want you to say what line is coming next. So generally, it is the more accurate you are, the more likely we are to give you the point. Obviously, if you get it word for word, no discussion asked. If it's around where nobody gets it word for word, but you have the general gist correct, we're likely to give you the point. If you are nowhere near, then yeah. However, there is a twist to this in that these are all entries we have played on different versions of this game before. So if you are avid listeners of our podcast, which I can already tell by Mary's eyes is not the case, you should have already heard some of these.
Not that I'm not an avid listener. It's just that my retention skills are absolutely zero.
Okay. We will always explain after the clip exactly who it is who's giving the line, so it should give you an idea of what kind of line we're looking for, right? So it's not like you'll accidentally go off character and just think that somebody else said something when it's actually this person. We'll always explain that context. So what will happen is all of you will answer individually. So if one member of your team gets it right, your team gets 1 point. If both members of your team get it correct, you get 3 points. There is absolutely no conferring in this round. So you have to trust the instincts of your partner. The way in which you'll answer is we'll play the clip, and then I want you to DM them to me on Zoom so that I can see the answers.
Before we start the game, can I just note that a game name we finish each other's would make a great euphemism.
So fun fact, does anyone know in our canon what the next word in we finish each other's is?
Sandwiches.
That's what I was going to say. Thank you. Yeah.
Bonus
Okay.
point, no.
So what we're also going to do is before every round, we're going to go to David, who's going to give you a little bit of advice about how to approach this round. We were going to do this for the bonus points, but decided against it because I think you gave us enough reason to believe that you'd be fine coming up with creative team names. So David, what motivation would you give them for this round?
So for this one, I would say that often we choose clips that are funny, ludicrous ones, or might be quite famous for just how bizarre they are. If you think that's too ridiculous, just go for it. You know, often the most ridiculous answer is correct.
And also think as well, there is probably a reason why we've chosen to bring these clips back. Okay, the first film. We go over to Doctor Strangelove. So we're going to play the scene. Why can't they fight in here?
Liv, I'm feeling the team has already collapsed.
For listeners, you should know that I just broke down laughing.
I think probably the best thing to do is we're going to go in reverse order, because I think what's usually good is it's good to give the teams an insight into how their partners are doing. So the last answer I received was from Aaron. So why can't they fight in here?
Oh, am I saying it?
Yes.
Oh, because it's a nunnery.
Good theming.
Yep.
Oh, we are so gonna lose.
You say that. Liv, why can't they fight in here?
There are squirrels.
Okay, and now on to everyone else who has given the same answer. So, Andrew?
They cannot fight in here because it's the war room.
Mary?
This is the war room.
Darren?
This is the war room.
And Paul?
This is the war room! Exclamation mark.
And of course, the answer...
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
So that is a point to every team, except for the Dork Knights Rising, who get 3. So congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
Remember, Andrew, pride cometh before what? Finish that sentence.
Okay, our next clip, we now go over to one of my favorite Halloween films, Hocus Pocus.
You know, I always wanted a child, and now I think I'll have one.
So what comes next?
So very frustrated looks here. Squinting eyes, heads throwing back.
All right, so there's definitely a theme going on here. So let's just go in order of answers. So, Mary.
For dinner?
Darren.
For dinner.
Aaron.
If this is right, I've got my sisters to thank for this. On toast?
Paul. And this is where I want you to also give the second message you sent me.
I can only remember one line from that, which is when she goes, "My name's Winifred. What's yours?" And also I said, Kathy Najimy is still smoking hot.
Okay.
And she was in Sister Act.
That's an odd thing for the character to say in the movie, Paul.
It's all connected, man.
Okay, Liv, what did you answer?
How about dinner?
And finally, Andrew.
I'm like, did I win? No. I'm guessing that she said, but I couldn't eat a whole one.
All right, let's see if any of you are correct.
You know, I always wanted a child, and now I think I'll have one. Toast!
So that is indeed a point to Potter X Klein. Back in the habit.
We're back in the habit. We're back in the habit.
So would you like to say thank you to your sisters now?
Yeah, I think the second one was coming out and they watched the first one like on loop repeatedly on Disney Plus. So thanks to shout out to Ella May and Gabriella. Boom.
I feel like Radio 2 right now. You don't have to pop.
And also
master.
thanks to Kathy Najimy for still being smoking hot after all these years.
Excellent. So now onto a film that I've
Is that going to be like a child pate? How does that work practically?
That's what I always imagine. Yeah.
I feel like that's the problem with Hocus Pocus. They don't get into the specifics. Yeah, they don't get into the specifics of child eating.
I feel like I can escape by the time they've like prepared me for toast.
So let me get this straight. The issue I have is not that they're trying to kill children. It's the method in which
of what they'll do.
Okay. Anyway, onto a film that I've oh my god!
I don't think they're going to kill me straight away if
they're making
they want me
pate.
on toast.
He would have you raw.
They probably have other things that they need to prepare. Oh, so it's going to be like a tartare on toast.
We've got more ludicrousness to come.
Okay,
Don't
okay.
worry. Next step.
Right. Now onto a film that I've definitely watched on loop for several times. We have Avengers Assemble if you're in the UK, or The Avengers as the rest of the world know it. What line follows this?
I won't touch Barton, not until I make him kill you. Slowly, intimately, in every way he knows you fear. And then he'll wake just long enough to see his good work. And when he screams, I'll split his skull.
What does Loki finish to say to finish that terrifying rant?
Lots of laughing going on here as well. I'm terrified.
Okay, we're just waiting on one more answer. So we are waiting on... Oh, no, we're not. All right, cool. So again, I'm going to sort of group this based on theme. So we'll start with Aaron.
I know this is incorrect, but I obviously know the scene. I put that he ended it with, "Do you happen to have a Hulk?"
Very courteous for what was a very threatening speech. Although, what's even more courteous, Liv, would you like to say yours?
Have you ever thought about getting another hobby?
Okay.
Okay. Now we go on to the slightly more dark. So, Mary.
I said wide open because the last word he said was skull. So
Okay. Now we go on to all of these are basically the same, but we'll start with the more vague one first. So, Andrew.
And I think it's something about a meowling quim. It's like the direct. There's a very kind of Shakespearean swear word in Avengers.
Yep.
So I'm going for that.
Darren, do you agree?
Yeah, I literally put you Mewling Quim because it's a Joss Whedon sex joke.
Okay, and Paul?
I put you Mewling Quim in capital letters.
Okay, let's see if any of those is correct.
I won't touch Barton, not until I make him kill you. Slowly, intimately, in every way he knows you fear. And then he'll wake just long enough to see his good work. And when he screams, I'll split his skull. This is my bargain, you Mewling Quim.
So, interesting. So, we've gotten the Mewling Quim part is correct, but obviously you are missing half of the quote, which is obviously, this is my bargain, you Mewling Quim.
I think considering that wasn't in the original game, though, that is also...
That is true. In that case, we will award the points for you Mewling Quim. So that is 3 points to... Why have I forgotten the team name? No, I haven't. The Dark Knight Rises. Although, as an aside, if you want to change your team name to "This is my bargain, you Mooney Quinn," we will accept that. But that's also...
I love, by the way, that like the way you said you Mewling Quim also made it sound like you were addressing the 6 contestants as well. I do want to appreciate that.
I think I've said worse to people in the past.
Let's see which of you got the right answer, you Mewling Quims.
Okay.
If the boot fits.
All right. But that's also, we should also acknowledge as well, that is a point to Potter X Klein back in the habit. Okay. So next up, let's go away from Shakespearean swearing to a more hopefully kid-friendly and nurturing environment in Casper. Right? There should be nothing creepy about a Casper clip. Right?
Cat? Mm-hmm. If I were alive, would you go to the Halloween dance with me? Mm-hmm. Cat? Mm-hmm.
What does Casper ask next? Also, for the listeners at home, I'd like to appreciate the fact that after we talked about the Mewling Quim round, Mary said sexiest fret ever.
I'm loving the vibe of like, I think like Liv was like teamed up with Ed, who was very serious before, was just like, I'm sorry, Ed, I brought the mood down. Here she is perfectly teamed up with Mary to bring the chaos, as we've already said.
Yeah,
They're chuckling
sometimes
away.
sometimes we just bring people together and it just enhances their lives. All right, we're just gonna go in the order in which you submitted. So, Paul.
I put, can we throw down?
Okay, and Aaron?
I might not have gotten this unless you teed it up with the creepiness, Craig, but I'm pretty confident he says, like, can I keep you or something?
Okay, and Mary?
I've heard there's a girl called Mary who is paler than me. Is this true?
Okay.
A personal dig in there.
It would be really harsh if a film from, 1995 was like...
I mean, I was kicking about then. I was probably even paler than I am now.
If Casper looked at the camera at that moment, that would be creepy.
Okay, so Darren, what did you go with?
Classic symmetry. If you were dead, could I go to the Halloween dance with you?
Okay. Liv?
I put, so when a mummy and a daddy love each other very much, ellipses.
Okay. And now we go to Andrew, and I want you to say the second part because that's the bit that caught me off guard.
Oh yeah, no, I was clarifying that I was trying to answer the question in the quiz, and that I had left out some quotation marks. So the first part is, would you kiss me? I was going to put that would you go all the way with me, but I don't think it would be.
It's a PG-13 movie.
Quite exactly. Yeah.
This film's a
It'd be like, could we park? Maybe.
Okay.
Is something they could say, and
Can
I'm
we
assuming
throw
that Back to the
down?
Future.
Okay.
So my answer was would we kiss?
Okay, let's see if any of those are correct.
Cat? Mm-hmm. alive, would you go to the Halloween dance with me? Cat, can I keep you?
Wow.
Well done, Aaron.
So creepy.
Yeah.
So
Really
weird.
creepy.
So creepy.
It's nice to know that I'm bringing it. My children's film knowledge
Yes,
are is second to none. Yeah.
It is impressive.
I just remember, is it the Dan Aykroyd cameo? I think.
Yeah,
the
pretty
Ghostbusters. It's like they cross the streams. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, that is the thing that happens. Okay, so next up we have Billy Madison, because we obviously have to acknowledge the legacy of Adam Sandler on this show somehow. However, this isn't an Adam Sandler quote. This is probably the quote that I've gotten from this Endgame that I've quoted in life several times since. So, what is the ending of this speech?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points.
What's the next part? Fun fact, for anyone who's ever heard me give the results of a debate before, that is genuinely how I would like to give it sometimes.
So a lot of people, their more serious faces, looking like they were actually receiving the speech. Other people sort of nodding, knowing what was coming up.
Okay, so I think we've got everyone's answers here. So we'll start with Mary, because I think you've gone very layered with this response.
First of all, I said it was rude of you to read out my therapy notes. Like,
Yep.
I thought this was a safe space. Is it? And you're disqualified? I've never seen this film. I'm so sorry.
You don't have to apologize for not watching an Adam Sandler film. Okay, Liv, what do you think it is?
I continued the sentence and put 14 lovely.
Okay. Let's now go to Paul.
Well, I saw Aaron's face when the clip was playing, so I knew he'd get it right. So I just put, but you were snubbed for Uncut Gems, Sandman.
Okay. And then finally, we have everyone else who has given me the same answer. So we'll start with Andrew.
And may God have mercy on your soul.
Aaron.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And Darren.
May God have mercy on your soul.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And may God have mercy on your soul. Weirdly, one of the most devastating things I've ever heard in an insult. So that is, again, another point for Potter X Klein back in the habit, and another 3 points for The Dark Knight Rising. Now we go to what I think is a particularly underrated film, Gigli. I'm joking. Nobody likes that film. So this is obviously a romance film between Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. So this is like a moment of them together. How does this interaction go?
Where are you going?
It's turkey time.
Huh?
A lot of people know this one. I think there's a lot of nodding. A lot of people who were happy. I don't know, happy that this film came up. I'm not sure. It certainly carries on some themes of some films we've discussed in the past.
And weirdly, one of you was given an answer that was given the last time that this happened.
Oh wow, okay.
So I think it is safe to say that there is one member of every team who is off kilter with what the answer is. Let's hear those answers. So Andrew, what did you go with?
I said turkey make me feel good.
Okay.
Which is the correct answer, I'm guessing.
Aaron, what did you go with?
Said I prefer chicken.
Okay. And finally, Liv.
Sorry, I meant it's Morbin time.
That'd be impressive for like
So
this era.
So I'm sad to say, as much as I like those answers, they are all. However, a lot of you have enthusiastically, and I mean enthusiastically because there's a lot of capitals here. I think I'm going to get all three of you to say it at the exact same time. Ready? So this is obviously Mary, Darren, and Paul. So 3, 2, 1.
Gobble, gobble.
And she's still Jenny from the block.
Yeah, that's the answer that was given last time. But of course,
Andrew, we covered this movie.
Did we?
You repressed it. Yeah, Jen. We did with Jen.
I do not remember that movie.
He's in the laundromat a lot. Anyway. It's the
I
one
tried
with
playing the response, but I think you guys spoke over it, so I'm just going to play it again.
Okay.
Here it is.
Right.
Where you going?
It's turkey time.
Huh?
Gobble, gobble.
It's the sexy whisper that makes it.
Yeah.
And don't be fooled by the rocks that she's got, because she's still Jenny from the block.
Yeah. So obviously we had to play that because this is probably one of the most famous clips from our Endgames. This was from our Valentine special where we had Shelley and Lucy. Neither of them had seen the film. Shelley guessed gobble gobble as well as based me. So we allowed her to have both answers, and then everyone just erupted when she got it correct. However, that's not my favorite ever. We finish each other's question. This next one is my favorite ever one. So we go to the thankfully obscure animated film, The Legend of the Titanic. Yes, you heard me. There is an animated Titanic movie. Sorry, scrap that. There's 2 animated Titanic films. No, scrap that. There's 3. There are 3 animated films about the Titanic. What's insulting about this particular film is that they imply that no one actually died. They were all saved by like a giant octopus. However, the clip that I have is about a couple of mice who are watching our main heroine dancing and basically has dreams of his own about joining her. So, how do we think this interaction goes?
I'll see her in my dreams for the rest of my life. I hate to be a spoilsport, but I would like to draw to your attention the fact that she's a woman and you're a mouse. Well, there's one thing I'm not.
So I'll say now, it starts off with, and then it's, what is the thing that he is not?
And also go back to my advice for this one.
Well, if there's one thing I'm not, and that's
a lot of confused faces on this one. When Liv throws her hands up, you know something crazy's coming. Same as Paul.
Still not seen any of the films in this Endgame so far.
Okay.
I thought you were just going to say animated Titanic films, which I was like, that's fair. I was
All right.
like, okay, no, all of them.
We're going to go slightly in order insofar as like submission. So we'll start with Paul, because I don't think you fully listened to my brief of, well, if there's one thing I'm not, and that's it. Because what did you answer?
Did you see that poor guy bang that rich chick in the car? So hot. It's the only thing I know from Titanic, man.
So if there's one thing I'm not, and that's a, did you see that poor guy bang? You can see it's not naturally a descriptor that one would use for the self. But
it's a Titanic movie. Ergo.
Okay.
Points. Boom.
Okay, now we go on to the full order. So Mary has gone in with a strong reference to a previous episode with...
I am not a cheese for osmosis.
Aaron has gone with...
tall glass of water. I was thinking like iceberg.
Okay.
Iceberg.
Liv has gone with...
Cheesemonger.
Andrew has gone with...
So I didn't know the word for somebody who commits bestiality. So I just went with sex criminal, I guess.
So we've got
sex criminal against God. It's in the genre of crimes against
Okay,
God.
so
he comes after gobble gobble.
So we got a sex criminal, and then I think equally as bizarre as well, we've got Darren's answer, which is a
racist.
Okay, let's see if any of those are correct.
I'll see her in my dreams for the rest of my life. I hate to be a spoilsport, but I would like to draw to your attention the fact that she's a woman and you're a mouse. Well, there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
Yep.
Wow.
If there's one thing I'm not, and that's a racist.
What?
Well done, Darren.
Because you see, mice and people are different races. Not the worst thing about that movie somehow.
Oh, so you have actually seen it?
Yeah.
All right.
I'd love if I thought your answer might actually be what the person, like if Andrew had asked, like, I'm not sure what a person who commits bestiality is referred to, and then Darren had that answer.
We're on the same wavelength.
That is good to know. Okay, so we're almost at the end of this round. However, there's one final clip. So this wasn't ever used as a We Finish Each Other's. This was used as one of our weird sounds in our Who's That Pokemon games. But I would like the opportunity to offer every individual a potential bonus 2 points, because this is, again, one of my favorite sounds that's ever come from this podcast. So in a minute, I'm going to play to you the most annoying sound in the world from Dumb and Dumber. Before that, I want to see if anyone is willing to try for a bonus 2 points to replicate the sound before we hear it. Okay.
This is the moment in which people in your house is like, what is going on?
Okay, so Paul definitely wants to. Aaron looks displeased, so I'm going to say that's a no. Liv gave a shrug, so is that why not?
I want to, but I've never seen the film and I have no idea what we're doing.
That's fine.
Even more fun.
That's what makes it more fun. Okay, so Andrew, I assume because you have a child next door, you might not want to.
I don't know if I know what the noise is. I in my head, I think I know what it is.
Okay, and
but
that's
but I could be quite wrong.
That's the situation where like it's embarrassing to do the sound right. It's somehow more embarrassing to do the sound wrong.
Okay. So in that
Also,
case,
I'm in
I
a
assume that
terrace
you are also forfeiting this round.
I'm also forfeiting.
That's absolutely fine. So in that case, we have a duel. So we'll start with Paul.
Finally, my years of wishing I was Jim Carrey are going to come into play.
So, do you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Beautiful.
Fantastic. And then Liv, do you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
I think I have actually heard that in a trailer at some point.
Okay.
But here we go. I'm just going to copy Paul.
Okay. And of course, the answer is...
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
So I think both of them are close in their own way. So I am awarding 2 bonus points both to Potter X Klein and also to Lovely Lovely. All right, fantastic. So that brings us to the end of game 1. So David, talk us through the scores.
So yeah, a very well played game there. Obviously, the Dark Knights Rising had quite a few good combinations of having correct answers. So that means they came through with 11 points, followed up by Potter X Klein, which had 8 points, and then Lovely Lovely with 4 points, obviously being helped there with that bonus point at the end. So well done, Liv, for doing that, as it boosted you up at the end.
Hashtag more than 0.
Hashtag not my Claude.
I was just going to say that.
Okay, fantastic. So let's now go on to round number 2. And I think this is a little bit more intellectual because this is actually one of a game that was suggested to us by an actual doctor in animation / Shrek. So this is Summer's Speaky Finders. So we had a special episode which was about the brave little toaster in which Dr. Sam Summers created this round. Here is the rules of this game. In the Zoom chat now, I'm going to post the name of 10 different actors, all of whom have voiced a character in an animated film. The idea then is basically team by team, we're going to go round and you're going to guess based on where you're going to tell you a character and the film that character is from. You are going to guess who voiced that character from those 10 options. Obviously, this is a conferring game, so we want you to talk to your partner and confirm that you have the right answer. So while I set this round up, David, what advice would you give people for this particular round?
Well, I think obviously you've got animated films, etc., can have a lot of big stars in them. So sometimes it can be tricky to know, like, really, that person was in this film? That person voiced that character? So just try to think out of the list, maybe, who wouldn't it be? Who's too plain? Who's too obvious? Sometimes it might surprise you.
Okay. So everyone look at the Zoom chat now. I'm going to drop who the 10 actors are. You have Drake, Dwayne Johnson / The Rock, Jamie Foxx, Jeff Bridges, Jim Broadbent, John C. Reilly, John Hamm, Nicolas Cage, Pitbull, and Steve Coogan.
This is just the cast of the new Fast and Furious film.
Can I do my John C. Reilly impression?
If he comes up. Yeah.
So the way the ordering for this is going to go, because it's not you're all answering the same ones, it is going to go team by team. So basically, to ensure as much balance as possible, what will happen is that the winner of the last round will answer first, then second will be second, and then third will be third. Because what this means is that statistically, the questions for the team that came third will be a little bit easier because you have less options to choose from. Okay? So David, the winning team from the last round, I believe, was the Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys will be going first. Are you ready?
Kind of.
Okay. So if I were to say to you, the character is called Rico and the film is Rio, which actor voiced it?
Okay. So I do not know, but I think it is Pitbull.
You're going
What
with
do you think,
Pitbull, are
Darren?
you? Okay.
I mean, I do think that Pitbull will play a dog in one of these animated movies, and I think as well Drake will be probably a duck. But not that I want to give away too much.
Okay.
But I'm guessing what is the movie Rio, by the way?
Rio is the one with Jesse Eisenberg as the parrot. It's Jesse Eisenberg and Anne Hathaway. It's a DreamWorks movie. It's where they're kind
Where
of
does it
pirates
take place?
in South America.
Right. And
I mean,
think
the film's
like,
called Rio, I think.
Pitbull,
Yeah. The clue is in the title.
that is what I thought. I was like, it's in Rio, right? And I don't want to. No, I am being reductive. Thinking,
Who do you
I
associate with?
It's Hollywood.
Yeah, I believe Pitbull has done some Latin music, some like reggaeton and that sort of thing. So I'm guessing that he is, coming.
Okay, I'm
in.
going to have to push you for an answer now, guys.
Okay, I will go.
Pitbull.
I trust Pitbull. I trust my co-host.
Don't trust me.
Trust in Pitbull.
Yeah, I trust Pitbull and my co-host.
Okay, so you're going for Mr. Worldwide. That answer is...
Ooh.
It was Jamie Foxx.
Playing a small little yellow canary?
Yeah. Okay,
Oh, no.
so it's fine. These rounds happen like that. So, Potter X Klein, back in the habit. Are you ready for your first one?
Let's do this.
You
X, don't
have
give it to you.
Captain Charles T. Baker from Planet 51.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I know. It's
Oh.
Isn't Sean William Scott in that movie as well? It's like
Probably.
some early noughties actor.
Okay, so you're confidently going with The Rock.
Yep, it's The Rock. It's 100% The Rock.
You are correct.
Very confident. Well done.
Congratulations. So now we move on to Lovely Lovely. Are you ready for your first one?
No.
Okay. That's the spirit. Eddie Noodleman from Sing.
Oh, that's the one with the pig on the poster.
Yeah.
Is
Eddie Noodle
that
Man.
John C. Reilly? Is he in Sing?
I think your instincts are usually right, and I believe in you.
Oh, now I'm doubting myself because now I feel like. Oh, do you
The
know what? I'll just
moment
go
your
with John C.
teammate
Reilly,
gave you
'cause
encouragement, you start doubting yourself.
do you know what? He can sing. He obviously sang in Chicago, so let's just stick with it. John C. Reilly.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's definitely not Jim Broadbent, and that is my contribution.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That answer is... It's John C. Reilly.
We did good.
And Paul, now
Yay!
you can have your John C. Reilly impression.
Oh, no, John C. Reilly.
Congratulations.
Clearly on the lash. Fantastic.
Pretty good.
Okay, so now we go back to the Dark Knights Rising. So your next one, Madam Gasket from Robots.
Okay, Robots is an old movie, relatively old, so it has to be somebody who was around that time. Do we think Steve Coogan?
Yeah, I was thinking. My first thought was Nicolas Cage, but Steve Coogan, I think, is also a good shout.
Okay, we go with Nicolas Cage then. We'll trust you.
I'm in transit.
All right, cool. Well, Nicolas Cage is our answer.
Okay. Nicolas Cage, final answer?
Final answer.
It's Jim Broadbent.
Neither was right. Cool, good call.
Nicolas Cage as a robot could be quite frightening.
Yeah. Okay.
Robot's underrated movie.
Okay, so Potter X Klein, your next one. Silas Ramsbottom from Despicable Me 2.
Steve Coogan.
Yeah. I'll just
So
sit
much
this round out.
confidence
I'm
in
making
this
a
round,
coffee.
yeah.
I'm a 5-year-old. What do you
Yeah.
expect?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
the beginning, Andrew was just like, I've had a child, and I was just like, oh, glad I'm not in this predicament. And now you're just
You
like,
clearly-
yes, the parenthood is coming through.
You've clearly not showed them Hocus Pocus or Casper the Friendly Ghost, though.
Yes,
Paul.
yes.
Well, yeah.
He
It depends on
has a
age.
strict thing. Whenever I try and show him a film, he goes, "Is this a spooky film?" And I'm like,
Ah.
"It's a bit spooky, so I'm not watching it."
Okay.
He's proper strict.
Fair dues.
Okay, so back to Lovely Lovely. So your next one, Zoc from The Ant Bully.
So I'm going to tell you it's definitely Drake, Jeff Bridges, John Hamm, Nicolas Cage, or Pitbull.
Love the use
I
of
don't have
confidence.
kids. I've not seen this.
I reckon Nick Cage would
you-
love to be called a guy with a Z in his name.
Yeah, you pick. You go.
No, don't put that on me.
Well, I guess John C. Right. Well, we go. Is Nick Cage been given us an answer? Is that?
No, Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
has not come up yet.
Will we go with that if that's what you think? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're too nice for this team.
Final answer?
Yeah. Why not?
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
It is Nick Cage. So what's really cruel for our friends from Dark Knight Rises is the two options that they were contemplating were literally the two next answers.
Okay.
Okay, so the final question then for the Dark Knight Rises. You have Ethan from Ice Age 4.
Yeah, I think Darren's mistake has been going with my guesses. So I think you go for it. I have an idea of who.
Okay.
Well, you have
might be,
it's
but I
a
don't
it's a
wanna
1
even
in 4
say.
at this point.
It's 1 and 4. So what are the 4 and what's your choices of 4?
Well, I think it's isn't it Steve Coogan?
No, Steve Coogan's come up.
Pitbull.
Already been said. Steve Coogan.
Stephen Coogan's been taken.
Stephen
Okay,
Coogan.
so
What's he your guess?
Stephen Cooganson.
Thank you,
Okay,
Liv,
so
for
it's,
narrowing down.
It's Drake, Jeff Bridges, John Hamm, or Pitbull.
Right. Okay. I have no idea.
Okay.
I think John Hamm is in it, but I don't want to influence your choice.
Okay, we'll go with John Hamm.
Damn it.
Okay, John Hamm.
John Hamm.
Oh, tough.
The answer was Drake, unfortunately. Look, I'll be honest. A lot of these films aren't particularly.
Was he a duck?
That would be the obvious choice. But
Yeah, I don't think he was a duck. I think, but ducks.
it's
that
a mammoth. It's Ice Age.
Yeah. Okay. So next we have the final answer then for Potter X Klein Back in Habit. You have Brogan from Shrek 4.
Oh, the worst Shrek film, easily. Brogan.
John Hamm. It's John Hamm.
He seems like he'd fit in a Shreky universe, wouldn't he, along with Justin Timberlake? Yeah.
Yeah.
So is
John Hamm.
You're going John Hamm.
You need a John per movie because you had John Lithgow in the first one, you had John Cleese in 2 and 3, and now you need John Hamm.
Oh,
This is where Dr. Sam Summers' Shrek knowledge is like emanating through you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that your
we've gotta
final
have
guess?
one John per movie. I think it's John Hamm.
John Hamm not playing one of the 3 little pigs, criminal.
Here you go.
Final answer, guys?
I
Final
think it's
answer.
John Hamm.
Okay, you said final answer. That is indeed correct.
Oh,
congratulations!
Stormed that round.
And now
Pressure's on.
the final one for Lovely Lovely. So you have Buffo from Epic.
Either Jeff Bridges or Pitbull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a weird choice I have to make.
Youths think that Pitbulls are cool and Bridges often nerds.
Right. Where are
So,
you going with
I think
this?
that logic can be utilized. Now, Epic I have seen someone see. I walked past a tent in a campsite once when people were watching Epic, and that's the other.
Did you hear any Moombaton? Because that would be
There was
the
a
clue
sword
that-
in it, fighting or like an argument or something. It was loud. It was loud, and I think that was the film, not the children.
You're like, it was loud. I did like it.
Is any of this context helping us?
I feel like if I knew what the film was about, I'd probably be able to hazard a guess as to whether or not it was Pitbull or Jeff Bridges. Oh,
I recall the poster was very messy, not quite compositionally cohesive.
So I'm leaning towards Pitbull because of that.
I'm happy to go with that.
I love that as logic.
I'm gonna have to push you for an answer on this one.
Will we just go Pitbull?
Yeah, let's go with Pitbull. It's either that or flip a coin.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Pitbull, final answer?
Yeah.
Why not?
So many guesses and you've had each one.
That is indeed correct, which means the film that Jeff Bridges was in was Surf's Up. He was a weird penguin guy. That's all I remember.
I can see that. I can visualize that. I've not seen that film, but I can see Jeff Bridges as a weird penguin.
Paul is just there like, I've watched all of these films for nothing. Like, my knowledge came through, but they guessed every one. Like, his world is falling apart.
I think my daughter needs a lot more screen time. Yeah, I need to start.
Well, it's nice to know that as well as film
watching,
as well as film history, we have parental advice coming through on this podcast. All right, David, talk us through the final scores for that round then.
Okay, so not a good one for The Dark Knight Rising. No points on that one, but it was interestingly 3 points to Potter and Klein and 3 points to Lovely Lovely.
Okay, so let's just have a look now how that's affected the team scores. So at this point, in third place, we have on 5 points, Lovely Lovely. Second place with 6 points, we have Dark Knights Rising. And in first place currently with 8 points, Potter x Klein, Back in the Habit. But we have 3 rounds to go, so there's still everything to play for.
It's called the Wilhelm scream, man. It's like the one in Star Wars where the stormtrooper falls.
Oh, yeah, I love that scream. Doesn't it sound like...
Nah, dude, it's more like... Ah!
No, that wasn't it either.
Ah! That was totally it! Ah!
I'd like to thank Team 4-Star and Dragon Ball Z Abridged for giving a perfect explanation of what the Wilhelm scream is. In our game today, I scream, you scream, we all scream for the Wilhelm scream. So
top tier name.
Thank you. I really liked it. It's my only contribution to this round because this is David's round. David won the Endgame in our yesterday episode, so he defeated Daniel Cullinane. And on the basis of they wanted to torture me because I hate the Wilhelm scream, I think it's one of the worst things to happen to cinema, they decided to make this game. So what is going to happen now is you're going to hear various Wilhelm screams from various different films, because obviously it is the most commonly used scream in a film. We want you to guess what film it is from. There are also bonus points available if you're able to say what character, whether that character is named or unnamed. So if it's like random soldier, whatever, we will get a bonus point for that. So the way this will work is that both of you will submit your answers separately, but then once it gets to the point of to the answers, we'll look at both of your answers, and then you choose which one you're going to answer. So this is, again, how much faith you have in the knowledge of your teammate. So obviously that's like you can confer and decide. Okay, so David, as the creator of this round, you must have a very good insight into how this round can go. What advice would you give?
So obviously the Wilhelm scream is the same scream every time, so it'd be very hard to distinguish that. So I would say that you want to listen to all other elements apart from the Wilhelm scream and think of what are the famous ones.
Okay, are we ready for clip number 1?
Wilhelm! Yeah, I'll just fill my pipe.
This might be the toughest one of them all, I will say. Some laughs going on, some very serious faces. It's going to be a mix.
Yeah. So we're going to go team by team. So lovely. Mary, what was your answer?
Well, I said, because I thought I heard hoofs or hooves, is it Ben-Hur?
Okay. Liv, do you want to be more specific about your example?
I said the one they mentioned in the clip. I don't remember. That was a while ago. Was it Star Trek?
So your choices are Star Trek or Ben-Hur. Both in the same wheelhouse, I think.
Yeah. I heard hooves, so I went with Star Trek.
Right. Which of the two answers are you going to go for?
Oh, I'm definitely not. I'm not right. So
I'm like Star Trek.
Yeah, let's go with Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
you're
right.
so you're answering Star Trek. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's now go. Let's now go to the Dark Knights Rising. So
Yeah,
Andrew, what did you answer?
I had no idea, and I thought it was a Western. I don't think it's The Searchers, but I wrote The Searchers.
I think this is a piece of historical trivia, so I think it is the first movie to feature the Wilhelm scream. That is Distant Drums, I think. And I think the character who is screaming for the bonus point is named William. Wilhelm. It's Wilhelm.
They say that in the clip.
They do say that in the clip.
And
That's why
we get a bonus point.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's
So
the first
fun,
one.
yeah,
That's-
fun fact. None of you tried to go for the bonus point of the main character. Okay, so yeah, in that case, I assume that you're going with Distant Drums, considering you said you don't think it's The Searchers.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're going
I'm
with
gonna
Distant Drums.
I'm gonna
And then
search this one,
finally, then Potter X Klein. So Paul, you do indeed say that the character is probably called like Les Wilhelm. What do you think the film is?
Some war movie.
Great. I'm sure I can credit that. Aaron, what do you think it is?
I also thought it was the first Wilhelm scream, and I might be remembering this, but I put man eaten by crocodile because I thought it was like some sort of test footage. Doesn't the first one go? He's like eaten by a crocodile. I don't know. Maybe I'm conflating that with
Okay.
something else. But...
So, which film between some war movie and man eaten by crocodile are you going to go for?
Man eaten by crocodile, because if that doesn't exist, I'm going to make it.
Right. Okay,
That's
then.
pure
So-
cinema. It has a man being eaten by a crocodile.
All right, let's go.
Sharknado.
Let's go through this systematically then. Is it Star Trek? Is it man being eaten by crocodile? Is it Distant Drums? So Darren, you are correct to say that it's the first Wilhelm scream. However, Distant Drums wasn't called a Wilhelm scream because this film with the character Wilhelm, so bonus points, one bonus point to yourself as well as Paul. David, what is the film?
So can't remember the exact name now.
The Charge at Feather River.
Yeah, so the Charge of Feather River is the first Wilhelm scream in the sense, obviously, Wilhelm is making that sound and they use the audio from Distant Drums. So while Distant Drums is the first instance of that scream, obviously it's not called a Wilhelm scream at that point because it hasn't yet been titled that and hasn't been noted and used again and again.
And I think it is fair to say that Aaron is correct in that what happens in the scene is he is being eaten by a crocodile.
Look at that. I'm happy with that.
So it's your call. Do you want to give him a bonus point for identifying what happened?
I'll give them a bonus point for that.
Okay,
Yes,
so in
at
that
least-
case, that is 2 points to Potter X Klein, 1 point
Les
to the Dark
Wilhelm
Knight
gets
Rising.
eaten by a crocodile. Yeah.
Cool.
We
Right.
get a bonus for being close.
Oh, honey, if that worked like that. I also apologize for calling you honey. It just felt right for the condescension.
I think in the sense that Potter Klein had 2 points with I think that it'd be fair that Dark Knight Rises has 2 as well because
Oh yeah,
Darren
sure.
Did,
In that case,
Darren did say the film that was from.
We
as well,
will reward historical knowledge. So yeah, you get 2 points as well. I love that. In response to Liv asking for points, you were like, "We're going to give more to the other teams."
Yeah.
Screw it. Okay, are we ready for film number 2? Okay, I'm just going to quickly address Mary calling me sexist.
Because the teams with all the boys got extra points, and me and Liv really put our heart and soul into that round for fuck off.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they were just closer.
And Craig, you have
weren't
been
even on
calling
the
them
same
lovely,
planet.
lovely. You've been calling them lovely, lovely all round. It's been making the rest of us very uncomfortable.
Embarrassing.
Oh,
yeah,
come
really
on.
embarrassing.
Look, I'll help you out to balance that. I'll tell you, it's not Ben-Hur.
Okay, so all of you have answered. So it's going to be interesting how to do this. So we will start with the team that chose the name Lovely Lovely, but I'm going to call Mary and Liv to make the others feel less comfortable. Note note, guys, how it is the men who are oppressing the identity that you chose.
Oh God.
I'm just saying.
Controversial.
I'm just saying.
Controversial.
All right. So, what answers do you specifically give?
Well, there's no specifics about my answer. I said it's a Star Wars, but which one is anyone's guess?
I put Star Wars brackets. Almost wanted to say Ben-Hur, and then I thought we'd go for the bonus point, and I said it's a guy called Ned.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Confident with that answer. Confident with Ned. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Dark Knight Rises. What did you go for?
I went with the original Star Wars as it was released, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope as it was rebranded. It is a stormtrooper on the bridge of the Death Star. And by bridge, I don't mean the actual command center. I mean a literal bridge that is not safety compliant in any meaningful way.
Star Trek has been mentioned, so you have to say, no, it's not that type of bridge. It's this.
Star Wars, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yes, in Star Wars.
Cool. So your answer is, I assume, the more specific exampling, etc. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that, and then finally, Potter X Klein. What did you go for?
I went with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and I guessed that the guy's name was Wilhelm Dafoe.
It did make me laugh.
I also put Star Wars and then some random stormtrooper brackets, probably called Wilhelm, close brackets.
Okay, so which answer are you going to go for? Specifically, you both... specifically, yeah. Are you going for Star Wars or Star Wars Episode 4?
Well, let's go for Wilhelm Dafoe, but he was definitely a stormtrooper, right? So
Yeah.
Okay.
With A New Hope, come on. It must.
Yeah.
If it turns out to be Empire Strikes Back, I'm going to be pissed.
Well, I mean, it's the movie that was Star Wars, to be fair.
Everyone said Star Wars.
Everyone said Star Wars. You were all... Right. So everyone said Star Wars. You were all correct. How do we want to reward the people who acknowledge that there was obviously a rebrand into Episode 4, A New Hope? Because that is the film that it is.
I think because everyone was referring to that in some way or form anyway. I think it's just as it is.
Okay. And then insofar as the bonus points, it is only the teams of Dark Knight Rises and Potter X Klein back in the habit who said Stormtroopers. Did you
But
say
how do we know the Stormtrooper is not called Ned?
But you didn't specify that it would be.
We'll get back to you.
It's because we didn't need to. We actually know the character so intimately. They didn't even need to say Stormtrooper.
Okay.
We're just like, oh, it's just Ned.
Ned,
I stand with Mary.
This is the dictionary corner now. I'll look if that guy is called Ned during this next question.
Yeah, so this is
probably got
David's
his own
round.
Star
This is
Wars
very
comic
much you have to
spin-off.
challenge him on it. So. Okay, are we ready for the third film this round?
Yeah, go ahead and hit me.
just like to point out that a lot of these music soundtracks are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for me. in
Yeah,
this
it's
round.
almost as if that's sort of the point of this round. Okay, we're just waiting on you, Liv. No pressure. We'll start with Potter X Klein this time. So, Aaron, what answer did you give?
I put Batman 1989, some random thug.
And Paul?
I put Batman Returns from 1992. And then I guessed who did the scream, and it's the big F-off clown that Batman blows up like a crazy SOB.
Interesting. So, you've got the same franchise, but different entries. Which one are you going to go with?
Well, let's go with Paul, seeing as he knows, can recall the scene.
Okay, so we've got Batman Returns. Let's now go to Lovely Lovely.
I put Craig McDonald, A True Story, and bonus point, Craig McDonald.
No answer I have will top that, although I did say could it be a Nazi screaming in Indiana Jones, but I think I got the wrong score. I got distracted by thinking about Craig screaming.
It sounded very John Williams, but I was like, I don't know.
So are you gonna go for Indiana Jones or the Craig
I
McDonald
mean, it's
story?
the only one that's a real film.
That you know of.
Yet.
Okay, we'll go for a Nazi screaming.
Okay, and finally we have Dark Knight Rises. Darren?
Batman Returns 1992. This is where you're gonna have to split points between myself and Paul. It is not the big off circus goon who screams. It's the goon beforehand who screams, and then he plants the bomb on the big off goon and throws him in the basement and kills him. So there's going to be a point of contention awarding the bonus point here. I think that would be my guess. Andrew.
Yeah, I went with with Batman and one of kind of Joker's henchmen. So, but I think Darren is correct here, and I know how much esteem he owes that movie in. There is actually a movie called The Life and Death of Andrew Quain.
No spoilers.
I'm going to go with that with Darren's answer.
Okay, so we've got two Batman and we've got Indiana Jones. So let's just deal with this first. Is it Indiana Jones? Sadly not. Is it Batman Returns? It is. Now, with regards to this bonus point, David, you're going to have to intervene here.
I'm happy to give the bonus point to both teams because I think Paul said that it was a clown, which it is, I think, listed as a clown henchman. And also Darren accurately said which, like one, it was the one before, etc. And it's not the big guy. So I think they both got the gist. I mainly wanted clown thug. They both got that.
Darren's absolutely raging. He cannot
I know
believe-
the competitiveness is now like coming through, and Darren's like, "Yes."
No, when I
use your
just started, we
anger."
didn't have a commanding lead. But no,
I just remembered that
Bullshit.
Batman straight up murders a man.
he does.
And then-
He punches him and puts the bomb on and throws him
and
in
then
the face.
smiles. He then properly is like,
Yeah, he enjoys it. Like that's the thing. Keaton's Batman really enjoys this stuff.
Okay.
Killing isn't funny, but if you kill a clown,
Yeah, people were harsh on Ben Affleck's Batman. Maybe they should have been harsher on him.
Okay, so let's,
Great clown Pagagelli is in town, and Batman just lights up.
Yeah.
let's move on to the next one. Are you ready? The answers are coming in thick and fast. Let's start with Dark Knight Rises.
yeah, I didn't know which one it was. I said Toy Story: A New Hope, and I was guessing it was Buzz Lightyear. Darren, give me the right answer. Correct answer.
No pressure here. I think it's the
Correct
first.
answer only.
I think it's the first Toy Story. The character I'm stumped on. I think it might be the Martian plush toys from Pizza Planet, but I imagine they would have recorded separate Foley for those. So, do you want to go with Buzz, or do you want to go with the plush toys from the Pizza Planet?
Oh, yes, I think the Martian toys
squeaky
from
Martian,
Pizza Planet.
yeah.
Yeah, squeaky Martian toys from Pizza Planet.
Okay. That's your answer. We now go to Potter X Klein.
Well, it is Toy Story: A New Hope. Toy Story Begins.
Yeah.
I did put Buzz Lightyear. Paul, what were you thinking?
I put Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, obvs, and then in brackets I put Strange Things is a better song than You've Got a Friend in Me. Bonus point me, BS.
It's true.
I love
it's
that
true.
song. It is great.
Okay,
Let me
so-
tell you about the strange things.
What about the one where Buzz is looking up at the window and he's trying to can he
I
fly?
won't go
Oh,
flying
Yeah,
no
yeah.
more.
love
Okay,
it.
not to shut down the beautiful
I don't
singing.
know if you can beat You Got a Friend in Me though.
Yes,
I
it's-
think that's a very hot.
We're
take.
just saying we love Randy Newman. So.
We Belong Together
that-
from
that's
Toy
a bit
Story
fair.
3 as well.
Okay.
Also a banger.
So finally, we have Lovely. So what did you guys go for?
I put Toy Story, and for the bonus point, I want you to know that I used the logic of which character the scream sounds like, and I forgot the scream always sounds the same, so I put Mr. Potato Head for the bonus. I don't know, Mary, help me.
Well, I picked Toy Story 3 when they're about to fall in the incinerator thing, but we'll go with Mr. Potato Head as the character because I feel like that makes sense.
Okay, so
And which
which
Toy Story are you going
Toy
for?
Story are you going with?
3?
Okay.
Does it make a difference to our points tally anyway? Probably not.
3 points for
Well,
Toy Story 3.
Okay, so the answer we're looking for insofar as the film is Toy Story 1. So it is the first one. So now the character. So we have 3 different entries for this, which I'm surprised given.
Yeah.
So, is it Mr. Potato Head? Is it the Martian toys? Is it Buzz Lightyear? It is indeed Buzz Lightyear.
The clue
I
is in
failed
what
you,
the
Andrew,
name.
I'm sorry.
They said Buzz.
He's not even a main character.
Okay, moving on to the next one. So this is a film that we've had on the Endgame specials before. They weren't familiar with this film. Let's see if you guys fare any better. So what I will say here is that insofar as there are multiple screams, the answer for this we're looking for is just like various something.
Just a collection of...
Yeah, a collection. Okay. So this is interesting because everyone is given a wholly unique answer. So let's start with The Dark Knight Rises.
I took a guess and said, I've got no idea. Mars Attacks, and it's when they murder the US government.
I guessed, and I think this is wrong, but I guess toys, because there's a lot of kind of like squeaking, and it's various toys. So toys and toys.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with you because like I know Batman Returns, you know toys.
Not really. I don't think I'm right on this one, but yeah.
Well, I know I'm not right, so there's a decent chance. Let's go with toys.
Okay, so your final answer is toys and toys?
Toys and toys. Squeaky, squeaky toys.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go to Lovely Lovely. So, Mary, your guess?
Killer plants from outer space, and it's runaway teenagers screaming. I have no idea if that is a film. I just thought I heard like cheap B movie like pew pew sounds and thought that sounds like it could be a film from the 1950s.
Yep. And Liv?
I'd watch that. I put Jumanji 2, the one where a girl plays Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
But I know that's wrong, so to hedge our bets, I put Vietnamese Spy for the bonus point.
Okay, so which of the films and character choices are you going to go with?
I mean, at least Liv's is an actual film.
I thought it was a film when you said it. I thought, oh, that's very cult. Well done.
Yeah, confidently Killer Plants from Outer Space. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going Killer Plants from Outer Space. Fantastic. And finally, we have Potter X Climb Back in the Habit. Aaron, what did you guess?
I guessed definitely a real film. I put the Wilhelm Apocalypse because of how many Wilhelm screams there were. And then as to who it was, I put various Wilhelm soldiers. I did want to put just various Wilhelms, but I thought it's probably a soldier.
Okay.
Seeing how many are going down. But yeah.
And then Paul?
I just went by the fact that it sounded like there was lots of beeping, like machinery. It was like beep, 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 beep. So I put Short Circuit. I don't know.
Okay, so which one are you going to go with?
Well, let's go with the real film, I guess.
A sound.
We're screwed either way.
Okay. So, is it toys? Wait, sorry. Remind me, Potter X Climb. What was your choice again? The film?
Short Circuit.
Okay.
I love that you're like it's wrong anyway, but just
I know.
It is wrong. Is it Killer Plants from Outer Space? But we still go to the various characters. So, is it various toys? Is it various soldiers? Actually is, yeah. It's various soldiers being killed by giant alien ants in the film Them.
Can I also recommend a bonus point for Lovely Lovely? Because Mary was the only one who did distinguish it was a B movie.
I will happily grant that bonus point, yeah. I think given what we've credited in other rounds, it's absolutely fair to say that... Paul... You stop.
Low key.
Is it because I made the wee sounds? Is that what one?
Yeah, exactly. And just no spoilers yet, but you guys, you need to see.
Okay, right. We come up to our penultimate clip for this round.
Split!
Going too fast.
It's a matter of opinion.
Play that one again.
Split!
Going too fast.
It's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, we're going to start with Potter X Climb Back in the Habit. So, what do you think?
Well, I put. I didn't recognize the clip. Obviously, there was a lot of revving in there, so I thought, oh, maybe it's an old style car film. And originally, I put Tropic Thunder, but luckily, I solved it in my head and put Days of Thunder, and then I just put Man in Car. But
okay, you've gone for Days of Thunder, Man in Car, and then Paul.
I put Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Longest Title of the Crystal Skulls. And because is it not Shia LaBeouf who's like split, 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 and then it's Harrison Ford going, "You're going too fast." And I assumed the Wilhelm scream was because they're in the university library, aren't they? So I assumed it was some university dweebs.
Okay. So which one are you going to go with? You're going to go with Days of Thunder or Indiana Jones?
We'll go with Days Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's again the actual film.
Indiana Jones and the longest title in the world.
Okay. Let's now go to Dark Knight Rising. is Ing. I can't remember exactly which one it is. It's fine. Rising, fine, cool. Which one did you go for?
So Andrew, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I said a movie we've covered in it. Did we actually do Jiggly?
We did, yes.
I mean, okay.
That was 2 rounds ago.
I love that this would be a weird thing for me to gaslight you on, but yeah.
Not Jiggly. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I said kind of Nazi goon scum, but I think it is in the library, and it might be Chet Hanks.
Well, we'll see if you're allowed to answer that. Darren, did you say it was university students, anything like that?
I did. I said college students. Myself and Andrew on the same wavelength. I also got it Indiana Jones and King of the Crystal Skull. And I do think I agree with Paul. It's in the library. I don't know whether it's in the library, it's on the campus, but with college students.
Okay, fantastic. And finally, we have Lovely Lovely. Do you have the same or do you have different?
Yeah, I think I've come to the solid conclusion that although I have seen films, my ability to retain information is zero. So I said it was War of the Worlds, but it definitely won't be Tom Cruise screaming because he's not scared of anything. But I'll go with Man on Motorbike screaming. And then I also said Indiana Jones was obviously right. I just answered too early.
Yes.
Liv, you did answer Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so it's whether you want to go with that. But you said street vendor.
Yeah, I thought it was after they'd left the library that they said that. But I'm now questioning everything. But yeah, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, without a doubt. I've read the graphic novel of the book of the film.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I assume then your answer is set?
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to say that insofar as the film, you are all correct. It is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So insofar as who it is indeed some students in the library. Yeah. Yep. So that is points to every team that said students, colleges, etc., etc. So
which wasn't lovely.
Unfortunately not. So, all right.
University dweebs, because they were in the library, like lamos. It's a nice day.
You got to do work in the field.
I go on my motorbike through the library all the time. I don't know what their problem was. You know.
We now move on to the final clip of this round. Here we go.
Vengeance is mine! Yeah!
Do you want to
Yes,
get
I
Yeah.
Vengeance is mine! Yeah!
With the first one, this might be the toughest, up there with the toughest.
Yeah. And he made it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I believe that is now everyone. So let's start with Lovely Lovely.
Both of these will be wrong, but I put Who Framed Roger Rabbit and a nun.
I said not a clue. Again, I have seen films. I just don't remember anything, so we're going with Liv's answer.
To be fair, I don't judge you for not having seen this film.
No, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to go with Who Framed Roger Rabbit and the Nun. Okay,
yep.
Let's now go for Dark Knight's Rising.
I have nothing, so good fair to Andrew.
Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit was a good shot. I put The Mouse Detective. I don't know what the full title of
Basil, the Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Basil. All right, I was going to write Basil Brush, but that's a different guy.
That'd be one hell of a mashup. Though.
So I said The Mouse Detective and The Mouse Detective.
That's better. I just said vengeance is mine because that's the words that I heard, and I said the character was Bonsai. So I'm going to go with your answer, Andrew. We're going to go with Basil the Great Mouse Detective and Basil the Great Mouse Detective.
Okay, fantastic. And finally, we have Potter X Klein.
Well, I said I didn't have a clue either, so I just put Carry On Camping, Barbara Windsor.
I had no idea, so I just put Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Vampire. It's wrong, but it's a solid film.
Or Scooby-Doo and the Legend of the Griffin, as that weakest link contestant would have it known. But interesting, I'm not sure if there is a female, like a female actress who does the Wilhelm scream. You know, so if
a Wilhelmina scream.
Yes.
So, which of your two answers are you going to go for?
Probably doesn't matter, Paul. To be honest.
Carry On Camping, just because you know.
Okay, let's do this simply then. Is it Carry On Camping? Is it Basil the Great Mouse Detective?
It's not Basil the Great Mouse Detective.
And finally, is it Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It was Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
What I would say is that you can hear them say Howard in the clip. So if you pick that out, you might be able to extrapolate back.
I thought there was a duck, but then I couldn't think of any ducks, so I went with rabbit.
He doesn't sound like a conventional duck, and yeah, it's a cult film. So
I was thinking duck.
Yeah, and
We knew it wasn't Drake the duck.
Fisherman.
It was a fisherman. So
Yeah, who fell out of
unfortunately,
his
none
boat.
of your characters are correct. So in that case, David, tell us the final scores.
Ooh, a very tight race in that one. So we have Lovely with 3 points, but then The Dark Knight Rising with 9 points, and Potter X Climb with 10. Ooh.
Yeah, I can see how you were saying that was tight because we were really.
I
Right
know.
up
I
there.
was like,
Yeah.
as I said that, I was just like, I don't want this to be sarcastic to the first one I'm saying. I'm talking about the other two.
You didn't win it.
That bonus point came in handy.
All right, fantastic. So now we move on to round number 4. And this is the Faye Dunaway hearing test. So this was the final game decided by the winner of our Endgame in the Mask of the Phantasm, which was won by David. However, he did consult with Rob and they decided they wanted some form of sound effect based game. So we decided to reach out to our good friend Faye Dunaway to send us her favourite Oscar winning songs. Unfortunately, however, she messed up because she always messes up whenever she's given a job. And yet, somehow, the entirety of society decides to just blame Warren Beatty, despite the fact that she was the one who looked at that thing and said La La Land, despite the fact that he knew that it was wrong and he didn't want anything to do with it. I don't understand why society just let her off the hook. Sorry, apparently that's a trigger for me. Yeah, basically, so she sent us the songs. However, we persevere. They've all been audio warped in some different way. So what's going to happen is I'm going to play you the song, and then I want you to guess as quickly as you can what it is. However, the way we're going to be doing this is a bit different. So what will happen is I'm going to play the song. The moment that the clip finishes, that is when you are allowed to buzz in. If you buzz in too early, I will not accept you for that round.
The women have got this one.
So just to emphasize what these songs will be, all of these songs are songs that have won the best song category at the Oscars. So that should narrow it down for you as to what songs they could be.
So there's only like 100 possible answers.
Yeah.
I only know the ones that totally got snubbed and deserved an Oscar.
David, what advice would you give them for this round?
So for this one, I would say that, remember that you're thinking purely in Oscar song territory, and to try, again, like the previous round, listen to the tune, anything that's an indicator of what this song could be. So don't think too far out into music and other movies. Try and think specifically within this category.
And like I said, once the clip is finished playing, that's when you're allowed to start buzzing in. Okay, are we ready for number 1?
Jackie, always okay.
Can you fly, Bobby?
That was Aaron. So, I should say it's point for song and point for film.
Oh, it's Titanic and Celine Dion with the eternal "My Heart Will Go On and On and On and On and On" a bit more.
Correct. And it literally
And
does go...
did you see that poor guy bang that rich chick in the car? So hot.
Yeah.
But I'm not a racist, Paul.
Okay, fantastic. So that's 2 points to Potter X Klein. Clip number 2.
I know this.
Paul.
It's Que Sera Sera, but I don't know the film.
Okay.
I did.
So
see,
this
I
is-
did see Mary.
This is what will happen.
Yeah.
So is it Que Sera Sera? Because you're passing on the film, we will open it up again, which is Mary.
The film was The Man Who Knew Too Much.
Correct. Yeah, Faye Dunaway's done a real number on these tracks. Jesus Christ. Okay, clip number 3.
Hey!
Oh.
I think that might have been Andrew.
Okay, you heard Andrew. We'll go with Andrew.
It's sorry,
5, 4,
the million dollar
2.
oh shit
1. You are timed
damn
out.
it.
Unfortunately, we now
and it's
Wait.
tally ho.
It's tally ho.
There we go.
Okay, right. We will open the buzzers again on my count. 3,
Is it Jai ho?
2, 1. Go.
There it is.
David.
Paul, I think.
Okay.
It's Slumdog Millionaire.
Yep.
Slumdog Millionaire.
And the song is it Jai Ho?
That is correct.
Yeah. I love the dancing going on in that. Everyone was boogieing down. Yeah, it's great.
My wife's half Indian, so that's not racist.
Okay. All right. Are we ready for number 3? Number 4 even.
Jackie, always okay.
That's Aaron. That is Aaron.
Phil Collins, You'll Be in My Heart for Tarzan, the best Tarzan movie, Disney's own.
Ooh.
Done.
I didn't know that won the Oscar though. Wow.
Yeah, it famously beat South Park's Blame Canada, to which they then obviously go on to roast him in the show.
That's fair enough.
Blame the Academy.
Right. Ah, such a great song.
Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
Meep, meep.
That is Mary. That is Mary. And
Is that-
Liv is encouraging by following the buzzer. Mary.
Is that Love Lives Us Up by Where We Belong by Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes from An Officer and a Gentleman?
So the film is definitely correct. You have overextended the title, but you do actually give us the title. So the song is called Up Where We Belong.
All right.
But I'm not going to punish
Sorry.
you for giving me too much.
Everyone says that.
It's more. This is an educational podcast. We are here to educate.
Thank you. I'm keeping that for the next pub quiz that I go to.
Okay. Are we ready for the next clip?
Yep.
Hey,
Can you fly, Bobby?
That was Hey. So that was Darren.
the movie is Fame, and I'm gonna live forever.
So the film is correct. So it's interesting. The song is also called Fame, but I think
Okay,
it's in
brackets.
parentheses. Yeah. So I will allow that.
Okay.
So excellent. All right. We ready for the next one?
I know this one.
Meep, meep.
That is Paul.
It's Raindrops Are Falling on My Head. But I don't know what film it's from, so I'm just going to say Spider-Man 2 because it was in Spider-Man 2.
Okay, so
In the best bit.
let's handle this then. So is it Raindrops Falling on My Head? Is it Spider-Man 2? We will open the buzzer in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey,
Meep, meep.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Oh. that was between Mary and Darren.
I personally heard Darren.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
What's the film?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Definitely one that sounds like a different language, but no, just reversed.
Yeah. What I like about the intro is that it's deceptive. It makes it sound like, oh, he's singing normally, and then there's what the hell's happening? Okay, next one.
Hey,
this one.
That was Hey.
That's No Time to Die from No Time to Die by Billie Eilish.
Oh,
Jackie always okay. Jackie
I haven't opened the buzzers yet. Start again in 3, 2, 1.
I know this one. I know this one.
I still hadn't opened the buzzer yet. I hadn't got to go. So unfortunately, Potter X Klein, you are frozen out of this round. So basically, lovely. Do you have a guess?
Oh, I think it's The Writings on the Wall by Sam Smith, but I can't remember. Is it Spectre? No?
Yeah, both correct. Both are correct. See, as much as this is fastest first, patience is also a good virtue.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on the penultimate clip.
Jackie always okay.
This one.
That is Aaron.
That was Remember Me from the hit Disney Pixar film Coco, I believe.
That is indeed correct.
I love how you found a way to
Banger.
make that saying like quick, like like people like Darren will go, "Hey," and then you're just there like, "It's okay." It's
Darren
like-
at the beginning was like, "You probably want something quick."
Yeah.
I'm going to prove
Yeah.
the other team's wrong.
Okay, we come on to the final clip.
Time to see what I can do to test the limits and break the rules. No right, no wrong, no rules for me.
I know this one.
Can you fly, Bobby?
That is Paul. Sorry, that is
That
Paul.
was the majestic Let It Go from Frozen.
That is indeed
Wow.
correct. It's also nice to see that Faye Dunaway listens to our show, considering that was on our musical special, which was like the 4th ever episode of Well Good
and
Movies.
she was laughing along to the track as well, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
As an aside, how horrific was that track?
What they're going to say.
I just want to state how much enjoyment I had from hearing Andrew shout, "Can you fly, Babby?"
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
multiple
same,
times.
yeah. That's why I was like, I was gutted that he didn't get it because there was such commitment to it.
Okay, so David, tell us the scores.
So yeah, another interesting round. So we had the Dork Knights Rising with 3 points. We had Lovely Lovely with 5 points, but winning that one is Potter X Klein with 12 points. So big victory there. Music fans.
Fantastic. So we're now just going to add that to the scores to see how we are going into the final round. This is important. So, we come to our final round. Welcome to Mojo Mind, the classic Endgame special, but with a twist this time. We have taken a list from the YouTube channel Watch Mojo, and we have written questions where every single answer is an entry on this list. The list this time we've chosen is the 100 greatest movies of all time to celebrate the Centenary special. So usually what would happen is we would have 3 lists, and then just you would go in descending order and you would decide basically which set of questions. However, because there are 100 questions and we have written 100 questions, this is essentially a 4-minute marathon to answer as many questions as you can. The way this will work is that your team, you will choose who is answering first, who is answering second. So you each get an individual question each. You're allowed to pass, but if you pass, that basically is like Mastermind, added to like a negative score that goes against you potentially in a tiebreak situation. But you're not limited to 10 questions. You can potentially get up to like 20 if you want, if you're efficient. Now, what is meant to happen is that the team in third place would get to decide which teams answer in which order. However, we currently have 2 teams in second and 1 team in first. So what I'm going to do for this is Lovely and Dork Knights Rising decide within the next minute which team should answer when. So which team is going first, then second, and third.
Yeah, I think Andrew and I are easy, but we'll figure it out. How far ahead are Potter and Klein, out of curiosity?
Yeah,
Like,
that
is
might
it-
influence
Okay.
the answer.
Could be entirely irrelevant.
Is this a deciding round, or have they already got it in the bag? Sorry, that was what the silence
Okay.
was all 4
Okay.
of us doing that maths in head.
Yeah.
So
do we care?
currently,
Yeah.
currently the team.
I mean, congratulations, Potter and Klein. Like it's
Okay, currently at this point, the team, the standings are as follows. So in second place with Dorks Night Rising and Lovely both with 9. Potter and Klein have 14.
so there's no way that this outcome could change. Like
bonus point.
Unfortunately not. However,
no, even with a bonus point.
This is a coronation.
Yeah, this is
No,
they're like
I
Christopher
guess they should
Nolan
go-
marching to the Oscar. So yeah,
They should go last.
Yeah.
They should go last, probably.
yeah.
David has just done a secondary score to determine which team has scored more out of the 2 teams in second. Which team has scored in the individual rounds has scored more points overall. So what will happen now, because a decision has not been made, is we'll now go to that score. So that means Lovely, you have scored 15 versus Dork Knight Rises, who have scored 23. So you get to decide which teams are answering in which order.
Okay, Liv, do you have any particular preferences to?
I think we should go second, and we should put Potter and Klein wherever the hardest questions are.
Well,
Yep,
you have
that
to
is-
work that out.
Yeah. Do you think Craig would make the hardest ones first or third?
I
I
think
feel
so
like-
far, third.
Third?
Yeah,
I
I feel third. I feel like he would lure
That's
you
it-
in
it
with
generally
an easy
kind
one.
of-
It's starting
Yeah.
to feel like 2 against 1.
first,
I can
Even
take
if you,
them.
first
if
question.
you add up our scores, Potter and Klein,
You're a
there's a
piece of
good
meat.
chance. There's a good chance we won't beat you.
The first question is generally a gimme, isn't it?
Okay, well,
So
so
that like the listeners at home understand the game.
so am I just
Yeah.
When I understand the game. as
okay?
well.
So am I checking? Then is the order Dork Knights Rising, then Lovely, then Potter X Klein?
Yes.
Okay, that is the official order. One thing to
I-
note about these
here-
questions.
Hear that we've reached the point in the game where the hosts are intervening like parents of unruly children.
Well, like I'm a teacher now. I'm sort of having to do that like classroom management. Like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Focus.
One thing to note about these questions is that while all of the answers are films, not all of the questions are going to be film-related questions. So the example that we always use, and Liv is remembering this, is if you are in a car
You
accident.
say remembering. It looks like Liv has trauma about
Yes,
this, which is
yeah.
a very
Well, yeah, because we've
different
constantly mocked in
experience.
our animal-based Endgame special, where the question was complete this phrase, it's raining blank. She answered men.
She did tell me this
Yeah.
earlier on today.
So the question example that we
To be
gave.
fair, I would answer the same thing because that's the first thing that comes into it's
Yeah.
rain. Man,
Yeah.
hallelujah.
Okay, but anyway, so the example that we give is what might you suffer from if you're involved in a car accident?
Oh, whiplash.
Whiplash is exactly right. We're giving that as an example because Whiplash does not feature on this list at all, which I think is an absolute travesty, and I don't know what the viewers of Watch Mojo are doing. I don't know why they have no idea.
Not quite my
Sorry.
tempo.
Wow, I think the stress of this game has just got to me. Yeah.
Why do you think I hold a chair to your head, Neiman?
Exactly. Thankfully, you're all on Zoom, so I can't really do that to any of you without
Are we
breaking,
rushing or
without breaking
dragging?
David's Mac. Okay, so the next question then. So for Dork Knights Rising, so you're going to answer first. David, can you get a timer, as in a stopwatch? Ready? Who is going to answer first, then who's going to answer second? So think of it like who's answering the odd questions and then who's answering the even questions.
Oh, right. I was going to say Darren should go first, but I guess since the first one we're guessing will be a gimme, give me the first one.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
it's
we,
It's gonna be really hard now.
You ask Andrew, and then I answer, and then Andrew answers, then I answer.
Yes,
We
yeah.
basically, so it's a
Yeah.
tag team. Okay, cool.
yeah. And you can pass at any point, but bear in mind you only have 4 minutes. So
And that
think about
affords
this.
A negative mark. as
Okay.
well.
Your time starts now. Andrew, what word comes next in this popular game show catchphrase? Contender ready.
Gladiators.
Correct. Darren, which film title connects John Oliver and Rowan Atkinson?
The Lion King.
Correct. Andrew, in which film does a man learn that he has been erased from his ex-girlfriend's mind and decides to do the same to himself?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Correct. Darren, what adjective would you use to describe a mountain road?
Rocky.
Correct. Andrew, what 10-time winning Oscar film missed out on an 11th because they forgot to submit Phyllis Dalton's name for consideration?
Pass.
Darren, what film ends with the iconic line, well, nobody's perfect?
Some Like It Hot.
Correct. Andrew, in the film The Founder, which letter is represented by the company logo, the Golden Arches?
M.
Correct. Darren, what is the opposite of light day?
Heavy Night. Hard Night.
Dark night.
Dark Night.
Andrew, what is another way to describe Vatican City?
City of God.
Correct. Darren, describe the average belief of a MAGA supporter.
Pass.
Okay. Andrew, which film popularized the phrase Rosebud?
Citizen Kane.
Correct. Darren, fill in the blank. Blank if you want to go faster.
Pass.
Andrew, sharing its name with a popular JoJo song, which film won Best Original Screenplay at the 2018 Oscars?
Pass.
Darren, which Steven Spielberg film did he insist that all royalties and residuals be instead donated to the
Schindler's
show?
List.
Correct. Andrew, what term describes popular or sensational writing that is regarded as being of poor
Pulp Fiction.
quality? Correct. Darren, which film had its opening parodied by Barbie?
2001: Space Odyssey.
Correct. Andrew, if you are buying a house in Spain and you want it to be white, what would you request?
Pass.
Casablanca.
Darren, you can't answer that. Just okay. Darren, what is the full name of the film which is often considered the best Star Wars film?
Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back.
Correct. Andrew, if you put me into a cloning device and produce 11 more copies of me, what does this podcast now have?
12 Angry Men.
Correct. Darren, with a colour-based surname and the first name of a popular character played by Nick Offerman, what is the full name of the film to feature this character?
Anchorman. Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Correct. Andrew, which film popularized the phrase, come with me if you want to live?
Terminator 2. Judgment Day.
Correct. Darren, complete the lyric from this Gene Kelly musical. I'm...
Singing in the Rain.
Correct. Andrew, if you desperately want the world to end immediately, you are hoping for what?
Pass.
Armageddon.
Darren, based on a popular Miyazaki movie, what stage show has been heavily advertised on YouTube and will be in London from April to August?
Spirited Away.
Correct. Andrew, complete this song lyric. Oh, she's sweet butter. And that is the 4 minutes, so I'll let you finish.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, she's sweet, but Chinatown.
Psycho.
She's a Chinatown.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many passes do they have?
6.
Okay, so the first pass, Lawrence of Arabia could have had 11 Oscars had they submitted Phyllis Dalton. Then describe the average belief of a MAGA supporter. No Country for Old Men. The JoJo song that shares his name with the Best Original Screenplay at the 2018 Oscars. Get Out. Casablanca is indeed what you would request if you wanted to buy a White House in Spain. If you are desperately wanting the world to end, you are hoping for Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
And that was all of your questions. So, David, the final score?
They had 17. So yeah, very good score there, and some tough ones, which was impressive.
Thankfully, you got the one that David and I argued about for half an hour.
It was more clear to me, I think, when I was less tired, and this was before daylight savings.
Yeah. So congratulations, a strong start. So we now move on to Lovely Lovely. First things first, who is answering in which order?
Mary's choice.
Oh, do you want to go first? You are very good at these. You are the fluke champion.
I'm not, but okay.
Okay, so is that agreement for Liv then, Mary?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
No.
Your 4 minutes start now. Liv, if you cut me open, what can you guarantee there will be?
Guts.
There will be blood. Mary, how could you also describe Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Jabba the Hutt?
Pass.
Liv, in the South Park episode Goobacks, people from the future arrive in the present and start taking the jobs of the citizens of South Park. Where do the angered populace continue to demand that the future people go?
Back to the Future.
Correct. Mary, if you are cooking with a jar of rosemary and you find a smaller jar, what could that smaller jar be considered?
God. Pass.
Liv, what film title completes the title of the Stephen King novella Rita Hayworth and...
It.
The Shawshank Redemption? Mary, which film was celebrated for having around 80% of its special effects be practical rather than CGI, only using CGI on backgrounds, removing stunt rigs, and for a character's prosthetic limb?
The Thing. No idea.
Mad Max Fury Road. Liv, what is a family-friendly way to describe being horny?
Being horny.
In the mood for love. Mary, if you see a group of men helping an old lady cross the road, how would you describe those men?
The League of Gentlemen.
Goodfellas. Liv, which film inspired a comic X profile whose only purpose is to give out updates about the conditions of the dinosaurs?
Yes.
Jurassic Park. Mary, what is Zeus to Hercules?
The Father.
I need more.
Pass. I don't know.
Okay, Liv, what film inspired the Magnificent Seven?
The Hateful Eight.
Seven Samurai. Mary, what is another term to describe foreign?
Strange. Don't know.
Alien. Liv, due to the horrific imagery and projectile vomiting both in the film and that the audience were also known to experience, which film was banned by various UK councils, inspiring travel companies to put on trips where they take people to the nearest town to watch this film?
Halloween.
The Exorcist. Mary, which book did I purchase hoping for tips on dealing with an avian outbreak, but found no such advice, meaning I started a lawsuit for false advertising?
To Kill a Mockingbird?
Correct. Liv, complete this phrase. Here comes the...
Right.
Airplane. Mary, which Indiana Jones film does not feature the name of the protagonist?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Correct. Liv, what person would most likely hate Uber drivers the most?
Taxi driver.
Correct. Mary, what would be a nice location for a date with someone who likes watching boats?
The beach.
On the waterfront. Liv, what was the first film to be animated completely in CGI?
Oh, A Christmas Carol.
It was Toy Story. So, David, how many passes did they have?
They had 3.
1,000.
Well, there was more wrong answers, which was, I think, impressive.
Okay.
So I appreciated the commitment.
Okay,
to
so
answer.
how could you describe Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Jabba the Hutt? That is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Incestuous.
If you are cooking with a jar of rosemary and you find a smaller jar, that could be considered
Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby. It's good to see.
That's
Liv
not how
got
I would
it.
have described that film.
Yeah, I
at
saw the
all.
frustration there.
What is Zeus to Hercules? He's the godfather.
The really concerning
God
thing about this round,
Father.
though, is that I'd seen pretty much every film you mentioned for either of us and still got almost everything wrong.
To be fair, I did the same thing with Mary. I said the Father, and then Craig said, I need more. I was like, and the Holy Spirit?
Yeah. I am impressed with. I think Liv has found a new one to replace It's Raining Cats and Dogs, because I literally do the action. You still go bride.
I thought you were just waving your hands.
I rarely do things without a purpose on this show. Okay, so with that, how many did they score, David?
4 points on that one.
Okay. All right, fantastic. And finally, we come to Potter X Klein back in the habit. Who is going to answer what?
What do you think, Paul? Do you want to take the lead on this? I know I'm going to be terrible.
All right, go on. I'll take the lead.
Go on. I'll
Okay.
use you as a shield.
You want to preach to me?
Actually, before we get to you guys, I do want to commend Liv for getting the taxi driver correct, because David did not understand the basis of that question, and thankfully you got it, so I appreciate that.
And Mary got the
First
To Kill a
instinct
Mockingbird.
And To Kill a Mockingbird as well, which they were ones I really worked on, so I'm glad that they got noticed.
Right.
Okay, so who's answering what, guys?
Paul is first.
Paul
is-
goes first.
Paul first, Aaron second. Okay, your 4 minutes
This
starts.
is going to be a disaster.
Now, Paul, if Lord of the Rings was actually filmed in Australia, not New Zealand, and the actor playing Gandalf was also from Australia, how would you describe him?
Australian?
The Wizard of Oz. Aaron, which film should have won the Oscar for Best Picture instead of All About Eve, which won that year?
Don't even know the year it came out. Ant-Man.
Sunset Boulevard. Paul, if you pay a lot of money to make sure that the sheep you have wronged don't speak out, you are paying for what?
The Silence of the Lambs.
Correct. Aaron, what do all mammals need in order to eat?
Jaws.
Correct. Paul, which film has had a musical adaptation movie released this January?
The Colour Purple?
Mean Girls. Aaron, what film could also be described as an autoerotic asphyxiation thriller?
The Long Good Friday.
Die Hard. Paul, what film shares its name with a 1930s detective novel and a Turkish yacht?
The Maltese Falcon.
Correct. Aaron, in comparison to the olden times, what are we living in?
Last times at Richmond High.
Modern times. Paul, which film is described as having 7 endings?
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King?
Correct. Aaron, if someone passes a light past your bedroom window while you are sleeping, what is likely to wake you up?
Pass.
Paul, which film was featured in an episode of The Simpsons with a redub of the final scene to say, frankly, my dear, I love you, let's remarry?
Oh, Casablanca.
It's Gone with the Wind. Aaron, what is the first fully animated movie released by Disney?
Oh, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Correct. Paul, what do I constantly hope that people do on election days?
Pass.
Aaron, which Hitchcock film shares its name with a song by U2 which starts with the Spanish for 1, 2, 3, 14?
I'll just say The Birds. Everyone's going to kill me.
Vertigo. Paul, what film has the original title in French, Lakata Sontuk. I butchered that, I apologize.
No, pass.
Aaron, according to Andrew Tate, another idiot internet conspiracist, what are we living in instead of the real world?
A Matrix.
Correct. Paul, what boat are people from Belfast too proud of considering?
Titanic.
Correct. Aaron, if there are 9 million bicycles in Beijing, what form of criminals are the most prolific there?
Pass.
Paul, what is the Mark Zuckerberg biopic called?
The Social Network.
Correct. Aaron, who did Frankenstein marry?
Bride of Frankenstein.
Correct. Paul, if you were to fire a posh person from a cannon and in their flight path they cross over a solitary bird in its home, what has happened there?
No, nothing. Pass.
Okay, and unfortunately that is the end of the 4 minutes.
Oh my god, I did terrible. Jesus.
Right. Let's just see which ones you passed on so we can give the answers. If someone passes a light past your bedroom window while you're sleeping, what's likely to wake you up is The Shining. What do I constantly hope that people do on election days? Do the right thing. Le Cotte Saint Coupe is that the 400 blows. If there are 9 million bicycles in Beijing, what form of criminals are most prolific there? Bicycle thieves.
Bicycle thieves.
And finally then, if you were to fire a posh person from a cannon and in their flight path they cross over a solitary bird in its home, it's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. All right, so David, their final score?
So they had 9 points with 5 passes.
9 points. So in that case, the final scores for that round then.
So the Dark Knights Rising had 17 points with 6 passes. Lovely Lovely had 4 points with 3 passes, and Potter X Klein had 9 points with 5 passes.
So in third place is Lovely Lovely, in second place is Potter X Klein, and in first place is Dark Knight Rising.
Yes, yeah.
All right, fine.
Yes.
We would like to take this opportunity to salute Potter and Klein on their victory today.
Well, you never know. Okay. All right.
Anything could happen.
So in that case, we go to the final scores of the episode. So in third place with 10 points, and I just want to emphasize as well, we've had teams that have had significantly lower on these specials. So to get to double digits is a good sign in and of itself. So big congratulations to Lovely Lovely.
Here to make up the numbers, and proudly so.
Is that the applause button?
No, there isn't one.
Okay, never mind. I thought there was
There is a one for 10
Actual
points.
applause.
You don't get applause.
Actual applause. Yay!
Yes.
In second place with 12 points, we have the Dark Knights Rising. Which means the winners of today's Endgame special with 16 points, we have Potter X Klein back in the habit. Congratulations.
Hey.
Against all odds. Yeah.
Corruption!
Recount.
I'd like to thank Phil Collins and yeah,
Your sisters, Phil Collins.
literally, I'll be sharing this award
Casper
with
the
them.
Friendly Ghost.
I'd like to
Hashtag
thank
not my
Matthew
sisters.
McConaughey in 10 years and wasted youth.
It's always fun to see in Mojo Mind, like everyone's reactions when they know the answers as the other ones are given. So there's especially there was a lot of impressive looks when the first round, and then frustrated looks during Mary and Liv's, and then a mix.
So my personal
unemployed
favorite
for
is
half
every
of
now and then
marriage.
just watching Darren's head just pop up when it's clear
Yeah.
he knows one of the
Yes,
answers.
yeah,
has
yeah.
been right.
I like that you knew the Casablanca one.
The way that my
Yeah.
team set up, it's like a little kind of
For some reason, I was trying to think of the Spanish for wall. I was like, well, they'd want white walls then. Like it was right there. It was Casablanca. I was like, Blanca, something, Blanca. What's a wall? Is it Webla? I don't know what it is. Yeah, and it's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Thank you very
I'm sure
much,
that would
guys.
have made the difference, though.
So yeah, we got.
Thank you very much, David and Craig. I want to say thank you very much.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you very
for
much.
this. Yeah.
So yeah, we got through 65 of the 100 questions that we wrote. So on average, that's about 21.66 per team. So that brings us to the end of the episode. So I think it's time that we basically go to our guests and just allow them like their opportunity to shout out their lives outside of this podcast. So let's go to Mary and Liv first of all. So where can we find you if we want to find more about you?
So you can find me on Twitter or X, whatever it's called, which is at Miss Name APs, and you can also find me heading up the Movie Scramble podcast as well, so you can give that a listen.
Fantastic. Liv?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter where I don't say things about films, and Letterboxd where I do, at LivyMac, LIVIMACK. I'm just as clueless on both of those.
Your watch list will be increased now from all the films in this podcast that you hadn't seen.
My watch list on it is on about 9,000.
Wow, okay, that's... it's
I mean,
over
you should be
9,000.
listening to Watch Mojo. They're the people that you should be listening to.
They've got like 5 Avengers films on their top 100 list, Watch Mojo. I do not trust them.
They don't. I trust.
You know what?
I promise you, they don't.
Because they're
Yeah,
only.
they've
I mean,
got
do they
something
have
to
the
say.
Avengers starring Rafe Fiennes and Uma Thurman? Is that on there too?
Yes!
On their entire list, there are only 2 MCU films.
Same thing. I'm not good with the numbers.
Right, fantastic. So now we go over to Dorks Night Rising. So where can we find you guys?
Andrew, do you want to plug the podcast?
Yeah. I run the podcast Twitter.
You edit all the episodes.
I edit all the
Yes.
episodes. It's called Dead 250. You can find us on Twitter at Dead 250, all spelt out, so no numbers. You can find Darren on the movie blog. You can find him on a lot of other places as well. You can find we talk about movies from the top 250 list on IMDb. It's a list that always is changing. We also cover movies from the bottom 100 list.
Like Geely, for example?
Like Geely, seemingly. That happened. I have no recollection of it. It tends to happen on bottom 100 movies. Like every now and then there'll be like crossover was like a Tyler Perry movie that we know about now because we looked back and on the episode
It's in the
realized
feed.
it's in the feed and we were like, yeah, we must have done that. Yeah, exactly. So you can find that wherever you listen to podcasts, until your podcast service closes down, and then you'll have to find another one. And how about you, Darren? Where tell us about all the great places you can find Second Wind and.
So I do videos and writing at Second Wind, which is an offshoot of The Escapist. We're a privately funded media company. I'm their film and TV guy. It's fantastic. You can find me on Twitter or Godzilla Twitter Kong. Darren_Mooney is my address there. Also write the Irish Independent. Just Google me and I'll turn up. I'm everywhere you don't want me to be is where I am. So you can find me pretty easily online. I'm chatting movies. Come yell at me about my movie opinions. That's where I'm at.
Okay, fantastic. And then we go over to the winners of today. So Potter and Klein, Potter X Klein, back in the habit. Where can we find you guys individually?
I'm Aaron. I focus more on games writing as opposed to movies. So I promise you that I know more about games than I do movies. But you can find me on Twitter at It's Me Aaron P with 2 A's and 1 R, where I'm writing at the Mirror, which is fun, and other places too. So that's me.
You can find me on Twitter, Paul Klein Yo with 2 O's. From there, you can find my link tree, which will take you to my letterbox, Paul Klein Yo with 1 O, because I'm inconsistent, my TikTok. I'll be honest with you, my Twitter, it's a lot of me going on about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because I love that show, man. I also do film reviews for Film Hounds, where I'm the features editor. Give me a follow, don't give me a follow. Makes no difference to me, really. I'm still going to be talking about Buffy.
Fantastic. So thank you very much for all of you. And I hope that all of you listening at home, go and check out all of our guests. They've been absolutely wonderful, both in today's episode, in previous episodes, and just throughout this entire process. I'll hand over now to David to do our plugs, and then we are out of here.
Yeah, obviously, as everyone has said, in terms of podcast players and stuff like that, you can catch us on wherever you listen to podcasts, as Andrew said, before they close down. I don't know if any are planning any closures soon, but yeah, check them out. You can catch us on places like YouTube, and then on social media, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, etc. And yeah, look at all the back catalogue of all our 100 episodes which we've done up to now, 100 official episodes, and then we've got lots of bonus episodes, including some more of these Endgame specials, which are always very fun. So thank you for all joining us. Obviously, people can go and check out the episodes you were on before, talking about films such as Full Monty, 21 Jump Street, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Recently we talked about Lord of the Rings in our 100th episode. Mary has joined us talking about her favourite Christmas film, Muppets Christmas Carol, but also some psychotic films like Showgirls, which I thought when you were saying earlier about like a crime or something like that, I thought that you said like a reference to a previous episode. I thought you were going to say littering, but it wasn't. But yeah, thank you everyone. It's been loads of fun. As always, this is a chaotic one and gives lots of fun moments, and we've had a blast having you on. And we look forward to carrying on the chain of movies very soon. Anything lastly from yourself, Craig?
Everyone just go and recover from daylight savings. Yeah. I think this is what we just need right now.
Eat some chocolate. Yeah, get the Sunday dinner in. Right, thanks
for
everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Sorry, David just got scared by a seagull then.
Can you fly, Bobby?